Good evening. The way you look at things is the most powerful force in shaping your life. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. His Majesty the King delegated Justice Ministrate launch of Mustafa Endowment. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister directed the immediate construction of mosques in East Heath. Saudi Arabia warns on spread of influenza cases. Heavy rains and floods cause schools to close in Saudi. NASA's Orion capsule made safe return to Earth. News in detail. His Majesty the King delegated Justice Ministrate launch of Mustafa Endowment. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa has delegated Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments Minister Nawaf bin Muhammad Al Mawda to participate in the launch of the Mustafa Endowment for reading the Holy Quran in the blessed Al-Aqsa Mosque. His Majesty King Abdullah signed the inauguration of the endowment at a ceremony attended by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. His Majesty's Chief Advisor for Religious and Cultural Affairs and Personal Envoy, His Royal Highness Prince Qasi bin Muhammad, members of the Jerusalem Islamic Endowment Council, members of the Endowment Council, donors and ambassadors from the Organization of Islamic Cooperation States. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister directs the immediate construction of mosques in East Heath. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, today directed the Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf and relevant authorities to complete the implementation plan of building 9 mosques in East Heath and to allocate the necessary budgets for the project. His Royal Highness also directed relevant authorities to proceed immediately with the construction of a mosque for the Al-Julayya and Al Sawali neighborhoods, while maintaining the current arrangements of the venues designated for performing prayers until the completion of the construction of mosques in East Heath. Interior Ministry Under Secretary opened Passenger Services Center. Interior Ministry Under Secretary for Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs, Sheikh Hisham bin Abdurrahman Al Khalifa, inaugurated the Passenger Services Centers of Bahrain International Airport. He highlighted that the building is part of the 24 initiatives launched by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to develop NPRA services as part of the Economic Recovery Plan. The center aims to provide innovative and comprehensive services to process the passengers' procedures. It is part of the directives of Interior Minister General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa to continue modernization and development. He highlighted the importance of continuing with excellence in providing services and implementing quality and competency standards. The Undersecretary was briefed about the center's operations and its various services, including handling new passports to citizens before traveling, updating traveling information for foreigners, extending visas, cancelling residence permits, registering newborns of foreigners, and receiving travelers' suggestions and compliance. The Education Ministry launched a green campaign at schools in Muharraq. A campaign to plant trees at schools located in Buzaitin and Al-Saya in the Governorate of Muharraq has been given the go-ahead. The green drive was launched at Al-Hidayah Secondary Boys School under the patronage of the Minister of Education, Dr. Muhammad bin Mubarak Juma, in the presence of Muharraq Governor Salman bin Isa bin Hindi Al-Manna and other officials. The Ministry of Education is coordinating the green initiative with the Governorate of Muharraq and Muharraq Municipality. Interior Ministry inspected Open Prisons Complex. Interior Minister General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa paid an inspection visit today to the Open Prisons Complex in the presence of the Attorney General, Chief of Public Security and National Institute for Human Rights President. At the beginning of the visit, the Interior Minister was briefed by the Director General of Verdict Enforcement and Alternative Sentencing on the complex, which includes a learning building equipped with the latest modern education systems, including computer labs and a library. The Interior Minister inspected housing units built to offer the living requirements, in addition to a sports club that includes a gym, a mental games unit, and an electronic interaction unit. The Director of Alternative Sentencing briefed the Interior Minister on the efforts of the Directorate in coordination with the concerned authorities to get the complex ready for human rights standards and services for inmates. The Interior Minister said that the civilized and humanitarian project comes to translate the principles of the reform era of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the support of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to promote the criminal justice system and continue the efforts to reinforce human rights. LMRA and Ministry of Interior conducted joint inspection campaigns. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority conducted joint inspection campaigns in the Muharraq Governorate, Capital Governorate and Southern Governorate in cooperation with the Nationality Passports and Residence Affairs, General Directorate of Crime Detection and Forensic Science Directorate of Criminal Information of the Ministry of Interior and the Muharraq Capital and Southern Governorate's Police Directorates. The campaigns resulted in reporting a number of violations related to the labour market and residency laws into a referred for legal action. The LMRA stressed its commitment to report any violation through a continuous and intensive inspection plan in cooperation with the relevant government entities. Now we will be back after a very short break.
The exclusive franchisee of Cochin Kala Bhavan in Bahrain. With over a decade of existence in Bahrain, exclusive online regular classes have started for classical dances, music vocal, instrumental music, cinematic dance, Kathak, Zumba body fitness, karate and yoga, drawing, arts and craft, children's theatre. For more information, please call 3909 6845 3909 4806 3885 2397 or visit www.bahrainmediacity.com.
Welcome back. Saudi Arabia warns on spread of influenza cases. The Saudi Ministry of Health has called on the public to be extra cautious following a noticeable surge in the number of influenza cases in the country. The ministry issued a new alert in light of the increase in seasonal influenza cases. Dr. Muhammad Al Abdulali, spokesman, said that the kingdom has seen an increase in influenza cases during the current season. He added that its spread is stronger than the reported cases in the past 2 years, and there are many people admitted in intensive care units, and the flu may lead to deaths. Taking flu vaccine, apart from wearing face mask, is the most important way to confront influenza virus. He urged the public not to be exposed to direct rain into cold waves. Heavy rains and flood cause schools to close in Saudi. Saudi Arabia has announced that schools in some regions will remain closed on Monday due to the heavy rain forecast, which may lead to flooding for the next few days. The National Center for Meteorology in Saudi Arabia has alerted several regions of rainfall ranging from medium to heavy, starting Sunday evening and continuing until Thursday in the Makkah region, including Jeddah. In view of the unstable weather forecast, schools in the region will remain closed and in-person classes are suspended on Monday. According to Saudi media, the Educational Administration in Makkah Al-Mukarramah region suspended classes on Monday. Saudi Arabia sets minimum age for Umrah at 5. The minimum age to be issued an official permit to undertake Umrah pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia is 5 years, the kingdom has said. Millions of Muslims who cannot afford the Hajj rituals physically or financially annually flock to Saudi Arabia to perform Umrah in the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah noted that the minimum age allowed to undertake Umrah is 5 years, but said children escorted by parents can have access to the Grand Mosque, which houses the Holy Kaaba. The minimum age book an Umrah permit is 5 years, provided that the child is not infected with or has been in touch with a coronavirus patient, the ministry said, according to Saudi news portal Ajil. Saudi Arabia recently launched an electronic platform designed to facilitate access to Umrah services, including visits to the holy sites of Mecca and Medina. NASA's Orion capsule made safe return to Earth. The American Space Agency NASA has brought home its next-generation astronaut ship after a near 26-day mission to orbit the Moon. The Orion capsule splashed down in the Pacific Ocean after a fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere and a descent that was further slowed by parachutes. Because this was a test, there were no people aboard this time, but that will change for the next flight. NASA is planning ever more complex missions with Orion. This will likely start in late 2024 and include in 2025 or 2026 an attempt to put humans back on the lunar surface. NASA has described the Sunday return of Orion to Earth as its priority one objective. The protective layer on the underside of Orion is a new design from previous craft, and NASA had to be sure it was effective before risking the lives of astronauts on future missions. Official match bowl for FIFA World Cup semi-finals and final revealed. The official match bowl for the semi-finals and final of the 2022 FIFA World Cup has been released. It has revealed the bowl, named Al-Hilm, the Dream in Arabic, followed the official match bowl of the group stages, Al-Rihla or the Journey. Both bowls have the same technology, engineered to travel faster than any other World Cup bowl. The design is set on a textured gold-based color with a triangular pattern, taking inspiration from the deserts of Qatar and the region. The color of the FIFA World Cup trophy and the pattern of the Qatar flag. Bold red accents adorn the bowl, reflecting both the generative architecture of Qatar and the country's flag. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.